Yeah, I do sing Paranoid Android under the shower sometime. And if you don't, you're lying. So
Fair, fair. We should
okay.
definitely keep this in.
Yeah. This will be the cold open to the podcast. I think we can start now, okay.
Okay, so we're back. Well, the last episode was lost to history, I'm afraid. Uh,
A few
maybe,
past episodes where I think. But we're back, yeah.
yeah. And we're here to talk about fantasy cycling and Talosa and TCAT and maybe a bit about the elections.
Yeah, we'll see. We can start with those maybe, so we can uh, do the boring part first, and like maybe have it as a hook for people who don't really care about cycling, but will do anything to like hear a Telosa made podcast. so
Yeah.
so let's appease those. We are very happy that you are listening to this, regardless of not giving a shit about cycling. So yeah,
Okay,
elections
so
started today as of time of recording, and I have nothing else to say about them because yeah, they're probably pretty boring. But
we have a lot more parties than last time, so that's sort of interesting. But because most of them are like small parties, and then there's the freedoms who are going to like wipe the floor with everyone else. Yeah.
uh, yeah,
So at some point I thought maybe okay, there's a chance that all the small parties combined will keep freedoms from getting a majority. But since they've already have like the pact with coffee and PDR, yeah, that's going to be the government then, isn't it?
yeah. Okay. So one thing is that I still don't think the pact or anything means that the freedoms will necessarily. I mean, no, I don't know, be more likely to get a majority or less likely to be. I mean, it was always going to be freedoms, the biggest party, like I don't know, at least 85 seats probably or whatever. And then because of how the new parties or the parties that weren't around last time, like PDR, that sat one out, like because of how they stacked up, it was always gonna be more likely, I think, to have freedom friendly parties, uh, granting them like those extra 20 or whatever seats they needed to form a coalition. So I don't think announcing Avant makes it any more likely or like makes it a shoe-in. I think it was already the case before. They're just telling people ahead of time what that might mean. I still thought that would have been the most likely coalition, arguably. But this is from the point of view of
Yeah,
someone that has been a little bit wobbly as far as involvement level over the last term has been. So
yeah, maybe. But I thought maybe like okay, there's also a chance that they don't really need all three parties, and there's a chance that one of the parties might have some demands that freedoms don't want to meet, or more likely the opposite. Freedoms have demands for support from some policy agenda that other parties are a bit hesitant about.
honestly, I really doubt because like the maybe this okay this
But
is
I also
the
I also didn't really know what was going on behind the scenes, right? So
yeah, sure. I mean, I should have known, and I still didn't because I wasn't really paying attention, even though I was in the Freedom Discord because of being in their COSA list and whatever. But yeah, I am. Yeah, I don't know. Looking at the Freedom Manifesto, which is again the reason I essentially agreed to keep serving on their list as like the guest star or whatever. Yeah, I don't think it's very controversial. If anything, it's gonna be the other parties that might have some other demands. But like even looking at the Avant program, like that's not really a lot of binding stuff. Like I think the freedoms are just gonna want to get in and form a government that is like more stable than what we've had in the last term, and they don't really care about
Well, that's not
major.
hard.
Yeah, sure. We kind of have
Well,
like parallels with like the UK, but like
okay.
yeah, no, okay.
I don't think. I mean, I think freedoms are partly the cause of the troubles. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure, but like with a majority government, one party government, really shouldn't like have any alibi of like, oh, the freedoms were the cause of the instability or a major
Well, that's not
cause. I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
so. Yeah.
Oh, I do think the they played a part in it. That's and I mean, it wasn't really like a strict majority government, was it? Because otherwise, the deal wouldn't have been necessary.
Yeah, sure, sure, fair enough. But like lots of the stuff that happened was like an enforced error, I think, on the part of TNC and like whatever. They had
Yeah.
space to maneuver and like I don't really want to like start talking about personalities and like the kind of the root causes of like the TNC disgregation and stuff, but like they came into the term with like a new prime minister and stuff, and they arguably 4 to 5 people team that was a strong core for an extended government, and then they get out of it with like people in 3 to 4 different parties and like yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It could have been handled much better, and like
Well, I'm not going to argue with that.
it was like mostly just TNC fighting, and then yeah, some people just deciding they wanted to run the show, whatever it took, and what it took apparently was their party falling apart in like a few months time.
I do think some freedoms are maybe a bit too gleeful about the whole thing, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I did see a remark by Miestra today that like was, yeah, this is why the politics where there's like groups of friends on each side of the divide is really bad, because then like everything is like protect your friends and stuff. And I don't think she's really in a super good position to argue that, because we had her, or like her party, uh, defending, sorry, pretty staunchly people that maybe were not to be defended and were not to be like appeased to the bitter end, like something V. But yeah, no, she's still right. I mean, I do think, and maybe this is why I tried to, like, even in the last term, tried to come back into like politics, hoping to like, because I think I like people on both sides of the argument, and I hope to be in good. Um, I hope people on both sides of the argument see me as someone they can talk to. That maybe I could like help with that, but yeah, I didn't end up playing a major part like in politics at the end of the day in the past term. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think I mean it's a lot in politics is always going to be about personalities,
Hmm.
but it's unfortunate that it is that way, and I wish people would see it less as us versus them and more as like a competition about ideas.
Hmm.
Um, but that's not really going to happen because it's a small community, and it's important. Like I think Brené made a lot of good points last term, um, but because of the way he moved in like uh, the political sphere, it was very um, difficult for anyone to support him
Mm-hmm.
because he just made a lot of enemies doing it, and that I think is unfortunate. But that I mean it's not to blame on anyone else, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but also okay, we should like preface that it's okay to make or like to be like uncomfortable because you are defending your ideas or whatever. It's less okay to or maybe this is subjective, so this is my opinion, of course. It is less okay to like make enemies and stuff because you're just driven by grudge and stuff. So both can be true at the same time, but yeah, I kind of feel you can like be an uncomfortable contrarian or whatever, or I don't know. You're not really much of a contrarian where you are in where when you are in the majority. Um, but like yeah,
Yeah, no,
there's a large component of like what came down in the last term and even before the last term, like 2 years ago almost, that this whole thing began. That wasn't really down to the issues. It was like more down to like perceived slights or whatever,
yeah,
which are again
I,
in a sorry, just in a close knit community, as you said before yourself. It's yeah very hard to like go beyond those and like stick to the issues rather than to the people involved.
but I do agree with you. It would have been possible to make some points in a way that is less antagonizing and less like it's definitely possible to make points that people don't agree with and still not be hated by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, that's something to figure out how. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's gonna
think
be an eternal, yeah,
yeah.
the eternal dilemma in the politics of such a small kingdom, such a small community. So, do we have any
But
predictions for the elections? Sorry, were you trying to make a point? I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying I think I've been pretty good at voicing unpopular opinions
Oh yeah.
without people hating me. But
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, and I'm not going to like refer to anyone in particular, but like sometimes voicing unpopular opinions is like more is it's easier when you go against your friends doing so. When you haven't really been close to the people whose opinion you are like targeting or like countering, then they actually might like they might just think like you're just being a contrarian for the sake of it or like you're being personal or whatever. And yeah, it's like we may always think we are everyone's friends just because of how small the community is, but like people react in very different ways, like depending on like one of the one of the reasons I actually agreed to serve again in the freedoms list is that is because essentially I know I can be contrarian and I can like go against the party line uh, without like any kind of like major consequence, and like working from the
but
inside is like a maybe good thing to do.
but can you say PDR and uh, the freedoms reach some sort of deal on catchment area reform?
Mm?
Will you be just completely free to just say vote against it, basically?
Well, I think so, because like usually like the agreement I ran on in the I ran on like with them in the past term that we are essentially extending is like I'd be running on their manifesto essentially. So everything that is in the manifesto I will try to follow, and everything that is not I will have a basically a free vote essentially. So yeah,
Com-
if something like the catchment area were to like be discussed in a uh, coalition agreement, I don't think that's going to be the case because like we already have an agreement. Like Avant is already there, so I don't see why there should be a separate coalition agreement that suddenly binds like freedom MCs to vote for the items in the agreement. And like looking at
Yeah,
it, it was
okay,
like
but
pretty
that's
light, which I was
but
very happy with, honestly.
that's really what concerns me, because I've seen in the past like so many times where like it started with like some intention of doing some reform, and then in the end the reform is like hammered out behind the scenes,
Hmm.
then proposed as a bill, and then at that point it's like everyone is sort of stuck. No one, it's no longer really possible for anyone to say, well, maybe we shouldn't really do the whole thing,
Yeah, sure.
because I mean that happened with like the first constitution reform when we were still in the old forum,
Yeah,
I think.
and that like happened like immediately after I retired from cabinet. Like it was 2018, the summer of 2018. I came out of cabinet. I retired from being prime minister, and I was then like just a normal senator, and I was like pretty vocal about that kind of stuff. Like I definitely agreed with you with that. Like that should be like no backroom like legislating, like having, because like another one was like the judiciary reform by V, which was basically the Free Dems caving into whatever he wanted to do, and like not he wasn't really taking anyone's advice on it in the hopper, and like we had very arbitrary changes being made to like, oh, now suddenly we have senior judges, not senior justices. Like why? Is there a reason for it? Is that just because we liked it? And we had very little like um okay, and again, it's easy for me to like shit on V because he's no longer in Tolosa or whatever, but like it's just an example of stuff I really don't want to see done again. And again, it's been like both from Avance program and from what the kind of reassurances I've been trying to get behind the scenes, I really didn't want to. Yeah, I wanted assurances that this wouldn't be happening again, and I don't see a reason why it would be. Because like again, pretty sure that the freedoms are going to be way more interested in just giving Tolosa a stable government for a change, and
So
like
so
rather
how do
than
we
aiming for some kind of arbitrary reform.
how do we interpret like to start a wide-ranging and open-ended discussion on Tolosa's organic law and constitutional structure?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it just
just
like talk about it in the ZU, or I mean, to me that sounds like start another committee at some point.
no. I don't see why. I mean, committees are only good if like you want to have some people like I don't know, write a bill like with four people co-writing it, or I don't know, and you want multiple parties to like chip in, and but even then you can do it on in the hopper again. Like I don't want to start quoting from like Discord messages, but like I've had pretty firm assurances that like regular order will be respected, and I'm pretty sure there is no longer like any reason for like a committee to exist again, like just like the organic law committee. Like
So to me, like, because there's like not so many bread and butter issues, but going on, the ZU is to me like some sort of eternal wide-ranging and open-ended discussion on Tolosa's organic law. I mean, that's what's happening
sure,
almost every term. So what does it mean in the platform then?
yeah, no, I can't really disagree with you on that. Like maybe people have their own like pet peeves or whatever that they want to, because everyone like might have issues with like, oh, the Senate should not be blocking the work of the COSA. Oh, the provinces are being like anything, any of those like aspects might fall into like the organic reform uh, spectrum or
Yeah.
sphere of politics, right? So like maybe just people are just trying to get a
So
discussion started on those
so if
things.
that's true, and it always happens, right? I mean, not last time because we had the committee blocking everything, but usually that always happens. So my question is still, why put it in the platform then?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the
Just
additional meaning of putting it
maybe
there?
it's just padding. I don't know.
Okay. So I've basically the same question about, I mean, about catchment reform, because Miestra said, well, okay, but road is a problem, which fair enough, right? I if the plan is to like give one extra state or country to the Vroden catchment area, I'd be fine with that, no problem.
Hmm.
And I also agree, actually, that we should probably do something about the Senate so that provinces don't need to be the same size.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like there has been some agreement made, and clearly what PDR wants is something else than that.
Yeah, no, I
So,
don't know. I'm pretty sure that like Michal is like pretty open to like discussion, like as long as like for example when I went on
oh,
a
sure, of course, but
yeah when I went on a ramble about like okay, should we do top down mergers or bottom up mergers, should we like have fewer provinces, is 8 okay, can we work with those, like even with me, and I think he chipped in that when he came back, like there was like it was not it wasn't like one option is acceptable and all of the others are like no, not acceptable, because like otherwise it would be like pretty far fetched to like see any improvement on the current situation. Like he was pretty open to like discussion, so I'm sure that there will be some kind of discourse, and then like people can agree or disagree, and like have something come out of it, like have a bill that can like be voted on or whatever, that can get a majority of the
is
CU in
there a
favor.
possibility that following discussion the end result sort of is okay? Well, we don't really need a complete overhaul of all the provincial catchment areas.
Yeah, sure. I, honestly,
Because
yeah.
is that possible to do that and still keep PDR on board, given that there is some agreement that they will do some sort of reform?
I mean, I'm sure PDR stands for more than just like catchment area reform. So, I mean,
No, I don't disagree with that, but I mean, looking through the list of agreements for Avant, that's I mean that one clearly has the PDR stamp on it,
yeah,
more than any of the other ones.
yeah, sure,
Surely,
but I mean,
because that's my worry. I mean, that's my worry, right? Because I feel that's also how it started. Like with the first constitutional reform, there was also like some agreement between MRPT at the time and the Freemans to like talk about org law reform, and that in the end turned out to be like a funnel that sort of sucked everyone in to me. That's how it felt.
mm,
Like at some point there was really no way to say, well, do we really need this anymore? I mean, we were just going to talk about it.
sure. Yeah, I don't know. I just
And
felt,
that's my worry with this. That in the end, freedom and peace, who might not be particularly happy about uh, the result of the discussion, will still just vote in favor because, well, why not?
sure. Well, I like for once I hope like that. Um, yeah, people don't like just see the discussions and then oh, okay, if nothing happens, then it was just a um, you know, giving a freebie to the PDR and like giving, oh yeah, we'll discuss this and then whatever. And then if anything happens, then okay, the free Dems have been like whipped by the PDR to like support this in exchange for the coalition. Then if whatever happens, yeah, I don't. That's one thing I'm thinking. So I don't think like we should now be preconceived that like anything that comes out of the discussion is now tainted by the 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 specter of having been included in a pre-electoral agreement. And then the second thing is just I hope people learn from past mistakes. Like, yeah.
Well, we hope, but I think not everyone agrees these were mistakes. But I mean, maybe you're right, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, I agree with you,
I'm not
of
saying
course.
the freedoms will do this or the freedoms I don't know. But I'm just that those would be my concerns because we've seen it in the past.
Sure. Well, I can't do much more than, like, I'm not a party member, so all I can do is like scream in the
Sure.
in the Discord
I mean,
chat room
I
and
don't
like
even do that. I just grumble a bit and then do nothing.
yeah, sure. I mean, that's mostly what I did last term as well, so I shouldn't like be particularly judgmental like about you or whatever. But
I'm trying to look up what the last result was so I can. All right, freedoms 58. I wanted to just give a prediction, but I'm now worrying that if I do that, I will be way over 200. So I need to I need to have some Excel sheet to make sure I don't do that. So
yeah,
Dean 15.
just do easy numbers and then tweak them.
Open Society, or is that the name? Also 15. Coffee, also 15. No,
That's
coffee
45.
20 actually.
Okay, 50. You're up to 50.
Am I? Oh shit. Freedoms 75.
Okay, that's
PDR
125.
um, also 20.
I don't even remember what
And
PDR did last time they stood. So
yeah, me neither. So what does that leave for?
you're at
So
like
that would be
145 or whatever.
so that would be 55 for the progressives.
And you're also missing an independent party.
Oh, independent party. Yeah, they're just getting one vote. I'm sorry. I just
Really? Okay.
okay. Probably they get more, but I can't just have all these parties. Independent party 10 then. Does that
I
even make sense?
I strongly disagree with that, like the independent party saying they're a coalition of independent MCs when they're a coalition of one. But like, sure.
I mean that's the plan. I mean sometimes you have to have ambition.
Maybe this is actually literally the independent party manifesto for the 45th COSA, but I can't check that on the database because we didn't use the database back then.
So normally when I like do these predictions, I start just by just doing the votes and then figuring out how many seats that is. Oh, so 15 votes for Dean. That was 15 seats. That was 6 votes. So it will be less. He won't get 6 votes again because there's more options.
Yeah, but is any of those options like as pro monarchy as Dean? Like overtly so? Of course, like the Progressive Alliance is pro monarchy. Like
Yeah,
Leeds
but
is
I
going to
think
be pro
most of the
monarchy.
actual hardline monarchists won't vote or even show up this election. I mean, King John is going.
Sure.
That's it for the old rump basically. I think they have been close to death for a while, but
I mean, they're still
at this
active
point I
in other
think.
parties.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's
but those people are active in other parties, so they won't vote for Dean.
like the one Dean voter that comes to mind is like Cresty. Like Like Sir
Yeah,
Cresty might
and
vote again for Dean, I guess.
IV maybe.
But that's still like 4 short of 6, so I don't know who the other voters are. Like again,
Okay,
I wouldn't I would have known everything like about this like off the top of my head when I was doing like exit polling and stuff. Like, but it's been
yeah,
5 years now, so
same. I
I
used to
really
know
don't
these
know.
kind of things, but now I don't.
And this is why this is a cycling podcast and not a
Yeah,
Talosen
I'm giving
politics
up on
podcast.
predictions. I don't know how all the small parties will do. I think Freedoms will get 80, Progressives will get 45. The others, I don't know.
My guess is like
Done.
Freedom about the same as last time. I don't see why they would get any fewer votes. And
More
Progressive,
options.
sure, but
People just randomly voting for coffee because they like coffee or PDR because they like catchment reform. I don't know.
no, it's like more likely that like Republicans might switch back to PDR if there are any like
Yeah, fair.
hardcore Republicans left. But
Yeah,
like most there are still a lot of Republicans in the Freedoms, so
yeah.
I still think the Freedoms will if they don't get like 85 again, they will get like 80 or something, and then PDR will get 15 and Coffee will get 10 or whatever.
Okay, TCAT. Let's talk TCAT.
Yeah, we're here to do TCAT actually. Yeah, what is TCAT? I don't know. Is it like something to do with Tiberi and cats?
Yes. Yes, so for anyone from still listening after this mess, don't pick Tiberi, he shot a cat.
Yeah.
I mean, is he even doing tours? Probably not.
No, he's not doing tour. I don't think so.
Because yeah.
I had the start list open, but like Bahrain has like too many riders already confirmed for. Actually, they have 8 on Pro Cycling Stats. So and there are a lot of like stage hunters who got left out of Giro, so they will for sure be there. Like, so I don't see why Tiberi is going to do tour. Luckily for cats of
Yeah.
France.
Okay, so just to turn it into a general tip for people participating, don't pick riders who also did Giro, except Pogacar. But otherwise, don't pick riders who also did Giro. It's not a good idea. They always do worse in Tour than in Giro.
Yeah.
That's something you actually can, like, even if you don't follow the cycling, you can sort of remember who was in the list last time, and then don't pick the same people as last time.
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick scan of the list and like Thomas is not going to go for GC this
Do
time
you disagree?
because he you disagree. You think Thomas is going to do GC?
No. Oh, maybe we missed something. I wasn't talking about Thomas. I was asking if you agreed with my point about Giro, but maybe we were
Oh no.
talking
I agreed.
separately.
Sorry, I agreed. And I was going down the list to like give examples about people who um people
Yeah,
might
I missed
remember
that
were
part.
in Giro. And then yeah, I was talking about how Thomas is not going for GC for sure because he has Bernal and Rodriguez in front, so he will do like vacation in France.
Is Thomas even doing Giro then?
Tour,
Oh
you
yeah,
mean?
so he is. Okay.
He is in the
Tour,
list.
yeah. Yeah.
But of course,
Yeah.
we don't know for sure until like next week probably.
Yeah, do pick Rodriguez actually.
You think so?
I Yeah, I think Rodriguez is good.
And then other people who did Giro as well. Jan Tratnik might. I don't know. He
No,
might be
why
a
would you
good
pick
pick.
Tratnik?
No,
What is Tratnik going to do?
like when Vingegaard DNFs and like because it's Visma, so half of the team is going to DNF. So Vingegaard is going to DNF, and Jorgensen is going to DNF because he's the only one who hasn't gotten a major injury this season. Then Tratnik will go for stages, and there is stage 9, which is gravel, which is perfect for Tratnik, so he will do that and get a stage win then. This is my official
so basically
prediction.
the plan is, Visma leaves the bike. Do I get points now?
Yeah.
They all DNF, and then Tratnik is the only one remaining, and basically does GC and wins. Is that's basically the plan for Tratnik?
Correct. But yeah, realistically, you only need the GC riders to like fuck off, and then the domestics will like be free to support them. To support not to support them, to like go for stages and stuff.
So the news, as far as I know, is that both Vingegaard and Van Aert are doing well in training, and seem to have more or less. I mean, they're not fully recovered, but they're on a path to recovery that
Yeah.
the yellow people seem to be optimistic about.
Yeah, so like way better than even chances of actually doing tour at this point.
So maybe we should mention when it actually starts. So second leg of the Russian Cycling Association Tour starts July 1st. I don't know. No, it will be in the weekend.
29th?
29th.
Saturday the 29th, okay. I think. Maybe. We are very prepared for this spot. Yeah, 29th. In 2 weeks time as of the time of this recording. But probably earlier by the time it comes out.
So probably like 3 weeks ago when it comes out.
It will have started on Saturday 29th. And yeah, I think we should be skipping like discussion because we are way over time. So we like about like one. Like congratulations about winning it. Now
there's not much to say about it.
Yeah, Pogacar wrecked everyone and will probably be the favorite to do very well in Tour as well. Even though we do get a very spicy four-way with other people maybe on the borders kinda rivalry, because we have Pogacar against Roglic, against Vingegaard, against Evenepoel for the first time since those four have been like at the top of the game together with like Van Aert and Van der Poel, but those are not GC riders. So like the top 4 GC riders get together for the first time essentially.
Too bad there's like major question marks for all of them.
Yeah. Well, for 3, I don't think there are many question marks about Pogacar, because like.
I thought the exception was going to be Roglic. No.
Really?
Yes, because Poggi did Tour, Giro.
Okay, but
it's like it's very rare to do well in Tour if you did Giro.
Sure.
Of course, he's probably if there's any rider who can be the exception to that, it's Pogacar. But that's still a question mark.
Yeah. But he barely broke a sweat.
He's just worse than the others. Sure.
Yeah, Roglic, okay, sure. And also Poggi has the advantage of having basically a monster team of domestics. So he doesn't have to do much.
But they don't really work together, do they?
Well,
I mean, Almeida was just riding against Yates in Tour de Suisse. They were just not even slightly a team.
Yeah, okay, but that's TDS. So I mean, they didn't really need to work together. I guess they were like co-leaders and were left free to battle. But whereas in Tour, neither of them is going to be the leaders. Just stay in line and do your job. I thought Yates did that last year, so I don't see why it would change with Almeida as a third like option.
Okay, Yates did that. I just keep remembering like the first TCAT Vuelta we did, and all the UAE riders were just like basically soloing the whole thing. Like Ayuso and Almeida, they were just both in a different world. Just
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
no strategy or cooperation at any point during the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, UAE likes to like have co-leaders doing stuff and then not cooperating at all. Because there probably isn't a really well-developed pecking order between Almeida, Yates, and Ayuso whenever those three get together to like do some minor stage race, as is Vuelta.
But like with Ineos, they usually like very quickly decide, okay, this one is for you basically. And UAE doesn't really seem to do that.
Yeah, but also like Ineos has stuff happening. Like I don't know, you see Thomas going to do Vuelta, but like Thomas never gives any shits about Vuelta, so he's not going to be GC, even though he's the big name in the list. And then lately you had last two Giros where Arensman lost so much time at the start, so he wasn't going to be the GC option. And the year before you had Jogan Hart like killing himself. So like in early in the second week was it? So again they were like a few seconds apart, but Thomas had the free reins from then on for Ineos
Yeah.
leadership.
Okay,
So
but
some of
maybe
that
we
is
should like
unforced, but like this time around should be like yeah way clearer who's
get yeah. Maybe we should like get to the bottom line.
yes
Who should you pick? I say do pick Poggi because he always scores points even if he doesn't win.
yeah
Maybe pick Fingergaard depending on his form. Honestly, he's sort of like he's been in positions before where he couldn't possibly win or do better, and he always somehow does.
yeah
So maybe pick Vingegaard. But even if Vingegaard wins, he might still not score that many points for a winner. That's
sure
something to keep in mind. Do also pick Roglic if he's somewhat cheap. I mean, he won't be as many credits. Then maybe he's a good pick. Don't pick Even. Cool. Don't pick Even the pool. He's not good. He's not going to win. He's not going to do anything. Don't pick him.
Any other GC outsiders? Nah.
So Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, you think?
He's not going to like podium, but he's going to do top 5.
Sure.
So it's those 4 and then Rodriguez in 5th.
And then rounding out the top 10.
Well, there's going to be at least one other UAE rider in there. I just don't really know which one. I'm going to say Almeida is
Really?
going to be in the top 10. I don't really know, but there's definitely going to be one UAE rider who is going to be in the top 10 other than Pogacar.
Yes.
Just don't know which one.
I don't
So
I don't know. Almeida
who say then?
is probably going to be better in ITTs than the other two, but he's also the one who always gets dropped midway through climbs.
Yeah,
I
but then
don't
comes back.
very slowly and then gets dropped again towards the
But
finish.
he doesn't lose like 10 minutes, right? I mean, we were talking about place 6 GC basically.
Sure. I mean,
I
it,
think
it will it will
Almeida will do top
always
10 GC. Why wouldn't he?
but it will always depend on like who the last domestique of Pogacar is going to be in the rotation. Like who is going to be Rafael Maika this time around, and I can't
Yeah.
really tell if any of those three is like more likely to. And then
Maybe
maybe
there's two
maybe
light.
maybe it's Sivakov in the end. Who knows?
Yeah. But maybe Yates and Almeida both make top 10.
Yeah, that's
Pro-
very likely. I mean, if it goes anything like Vuelta last year went for like Jumbo Visma. And maybe
I'm just seeing something. Okay,
do
how
we
is
have
this?
live news? Is
No,
this live
it's not
news?
news, but
Oh, okay.
no, it's not news, but it's a thought. Derek G, top 10.
Oh, can he? Okay, that's fair. Looking at like how Dauphiné went for him, but can he do like 3 weeks GC? It would be great to
I
have
mean,
him on top, but
he can do. We know he can do 3 weeks of like attacking.
sure.
We found that out the hard way, basically, everyone.
Yeah, it would be nice to like see that. People who are definitely not going to be in top 10 GC among the like Simon Yates, Ilan van Wilder,
Go do.
Godu. Oh yeah, of course. Enric Mas. Maybe
No,
he could like
Mas will
get
do top 10. He's like consistent.
8th or 9th, consistently 8th.
Yeah, but that's top 10, right?
Yeah. Like Hindley got yellow jersey last year. This time I don't really think he's going to feature in front. Like Roglic on a smaller scale also has super domestics because like Hindley and Vlasov are GC contenders on their own, but they're not really the same class as the other super domestics that other people
Yeah,
have.
I don't really think another Bora is going to do
So
top
so
10.
yeah, none of those is going to be potential top 10.
Thomas is not going to do top 10. Is that
No,
really?
he's going to
I mean, is that
he's going
really
to
something we should say, even mention? Yeah.
no, he's going to like score assist points and that's it probably.
Okay.
Sprinters, is it sprinter time? Do we have to talk about
Yeah,
anything else?
sure. Yeah, Philipsen is basically it, but it depends on um, how expensive he's going to be. Because, well, basically, there's this YouTube channel, and their theory is you need to have a good result in Velo games, you need to have 100 points per credit. So for Philipsen to be worth it, he needs to get 100 points per credit, which if he is like 16 or 18 would be like 1800 points. That seems feasible.
Yeah, I don't
So
know
yeah,
how much he scored
pick
last year,
Philipsen.
but
Yeah, so that maybe that's a good question.
we're going to have like 8 sprint stages this year
But they're
or
all
around
very
that.
flat.
Yeah, yeah. Like there is just one that could be a breakaway. So I marked up stage 8 as a possible unlikely breakaway, but all of the others are like pretty clearly sprint stages. We're not going to have some weird surprise, I don't think.
So picking sprinters is I mean it's generally not a bad strategy to have two sprinters. It usually works out well. We've seen in the past anyway. So this time, yeah, no problem with picking two sprinters. Probably a good idea.
Yeah, because
Okay,
there are
Philipsen.
also other solid options in the, but there are also other options that are kind of problematic because there are two good sprinters in the same team. Like why are Jaco listing both Groenewegen and Matthews? I have no idea, but
Oh, but that should be simple, right? Groenewegen is going to do the sprint stages, and then Matthews is going for a break somewhere and then trying to win a stage from that. There's no chance if they like arrive after a flat stage with the whole peloton that Matthews is going to sprint for them.
sure.
So don't pick Matthews, or do pick Matthews. I mean, he can actually probably win, but there's not that many like hilly stages, are there?
No, there aren't.
There's not a lot of good Matthews stages basically.
Like maybe stage 2, but the climbers are too steep. Like there are no. I only have like 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 breakaway stages, and that's it. And one is the
Yeah.
gravel stage that Van der Poel will probably win.
Well, I don't know about Van der Poel, but that one, Matthews could win that one. Why not? Okay, Philipsen last time scored 1900 points.
Okay, then yeah.
So basically, with pretty much every credits he's going to get, he will be sort of worth it because I think he can do the same. Don't really see why not.
Other
And
sprinters
then
who you think could win stages if Philipsen gets
oh
a bad lead out or whatever?
yeah, I wrote down Van Poppel.
Why? Because he's the one who doesn't even have lead outs in his team.
Yeah, but
Maybe
why?
Jungels.
Who cares? Bauhaus doesn't have lead outs either.
Isn't Arndt a lead out? No. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
Arndt is a
maybe.
lead out.
Okay, one then, but not like a sprint train.
No, but not many do. I mean, okay, Alpecin has like the luxury sprint train because there are also Laurence, probably, maybe, who is an excellent
Is
sprinter
Laurent
on
on
his
tour?
own. I don't know because there are too many people listed on the Alpecin start list on PCS, so it's probably I don't think everyone will do tour in that list, but
Okay, but say Van Poppel is like 8 credits.
yeah,
I don't know.
sure, why not?
I think he can like do several top threes.
Sure. What about Beanie?
No, no, why? Why would you pick Benny?
Because no, sure,
Benny
he's
can do one thing, which is an uphill sprint. Are there many uphill sprints today? This tour?
I don't think so.
Okay, so done. Don't pick Benny. He's not even the best at uphill sprints. Like Pedersen is better. But
And also
I mean,
Intermarché is the other team who has like 2 sprinters because they also have Tyson, but
yeah.
he's not as good at Beanie probably. But still, he's won something this spring, so who knows?
If anyone is not skipping ahead to like the part where we talk about TMT, Benny means Biniam Girmay. Um, maybe pick Groenewegen. I don't really know. He's not really been in great form this year, has he?
Who?
Groenewegen.
Hasn't he just won a stage in like Slovenia? I think maybe.
Yeah, but are there any sprinters doing Slovenia?
Uh oh, Pello Bilbao won today, by the way.
Oh yeah, I also wrote him down. He's going to win a stage. Him or Buitrago. That's a bit of the problem.
Yeah, but
One
like
Bahrain is going to win like a climbing stage, but I don't know which one.
I always think of like Bilbao as a like more uh puncher than a true climber like Buitrago, but like
Okay, big
maybe
Buitrago then.
stage 18, which is like medium mountains for breakaway, like a Michael Woods type stage, but Woods is not doing tour, so he won't win. Okay, so Groenewegen won, but like yeah, there was no one else good.
Christoph Bauhaus. Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah, not good.
oh. So Pellizzari did do Slovenia then.
Yeah,
Did he do well?
I missed that. He was like fourth today. Apparently, I
Okay.
didn't really follow. He has white the white jersey by like a country mile, of course.
Okay. Um. Yeah, maybe pick Groenewegen. That's fine. He'll try at least. I don't know. I think there's like the problem with Groenewegen might be that he isn't going to like be consistent.
Mm.
So maybe he'll win a stage, but then also be like 20th a couple of times.
I wrote down a few others, but like, okay, give me quick fire opinions on some others.
Okay.
Demer,
No. De Maar? I think it's.
Demar, yeah, whatever.
I would-
Coquard,
No. Oh, well, if he's cheap, if he's 6 points, yeah.
he's not going to be 6 points. He might be 10 or 8, probably.
8, maybe 10, no.
Vandenberg, if he doesn't get lost again, like.
Not really. The stages aren't really suited to him, are they? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
honestly, yeah, I don't think so.
Probably not then.
Then I had, actually, I'm going to skip those ones because those are all no's. Like, what about Pedersen? Because like he's one of the other big names.
Yeah, I think Pedersen will be too expensive. So last year, when there were like more were difficult sprints, he got 49 points. So, and he was 14 credits, so just below target. But that's still a good result. But I think that was about as good as he could do that tour, because he won a stage. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll do that again on it only flat stages. And I do think he'll be 14 credits at least again. So I'm guessing he's going to be too expensive.
Okay, actually there are two outside sprint options I penciled down who would be Deli, who is doing his GT debut, who can sprint and might be a like wildcard sprinter or whatever if you want a second sprinter but don't want to commit, and he probably will do well in like breakaway stages, maybe, but this is his first Grand Tour, so he might also
But you said there
do
weren't
shit.
many breakaway stages. That's sort of a problem, right?
Okay, but he might be depending on the cost, might be if you think he's going to win a stage for sure, then he might be worth it regardless. And the other one was
Cavendish.
Aramburu.
No, same problem.
Yeah, I don't think so, because Aramburu at least is fairly consistent as a sprinter. He might be the new like Anil Koski from Giro, who did surprisingly well, but he's going to be more expensive. That's the problem. But at the same time, I don't think that Aramburu is going to be like 8 points or whatever. So it might still be worth it.
Cavendish. We should talk about Cavendish.
Yeah, he's not gonna win the record last stage that
Don't
he
pick
needs.
Cavendish, but you do get extra sympathy points if you do.
Yeah.
Oh, don't pick Jacobsen. If anyone is listening, please don't pick Jacobsen.
Well, no one has ever picked.
Well.
No one has ever picked Jakobsen in the history of TCAT.
Well, yeah, surely people did.
No, I don't think so. Because he's been. I remember he was one of the most picked riders by Velo Games not to have been picked at least twice.
Okay,
including in the
enough.
last Giro. So luckily we avoided him.
Keep it up, everyone.
Any other personal favorites that are doing tour? Maybe not even like points wise, but like I think you'd be like happy to see Pools doing tour again after he's been overlooked for
nice.
Giro.
Yeah, that was sad.
Overall, I feel like Bahrain has a good stage hunting team, like with Mohoric and Bilbao and Pools and
yeah, they're going to win
Buitrago.
stages, but it's just sort of hard to figure out which one.
And also too bad there are not a lot of, because like even stage 1 and 2 might have been stages for the breakaway, but I don't really think that like the GC riders are going to be at the front instead. So
Also, don't pick Mathieu van der Poel. He's going to be expensive. He's probably one of the best cyclists in the world. So everyone might think, well, best cyclist in the world, pick him. Don't do it. It's just extended training camp for him. He's just training for the Olympics, and he's going to lead out for Philipsen and maybe shove someone out of the way and get disqualified. I don't know. Something like that might happen. Don't pick him.
yeah, if last year is anything to go by. But like, yeah, Van der Poel, you can pick Van der Poel if you join me and Glüc in like doing the other velo games during the year where we do like the 1 day races and stuff. And then he's going to be a potential option there. Actually, a very good option usually, judging from how the spring went.
Pretty much
But yeah,
always wins if he's
not a tour.
participating.
Yeah, apart for like what was the one that he was supposed to
Yeah,
attack and then
Liège.
just Liège? I don't think so. There was a midweek one that he didn't do shit, but I don't remember it was like Fast at Flandern. I don't actually remember. Okay, we're
Or
getting
Amstel Gold.
sidetracked
He
on
didn't
a
win Amstel Gold because he
Amstel
didn't
Gold.
really try.
Yeah.
And Liège, but that was just because of Pogačar.
Yeah. Okay, have we settled on TCAT then? Anything? Any final remarks? You should tell people that it's super easy, but to sign up and stuff, but they probably know by now. Like the people who are actually listening at this point will know by now, I guess.
Fair enough. But do participate even if you don't know anything we're talking about. You can still get lucky, basically.
Yeah. And like people have had good results like over the years, even though they are probably not among the most involved people, like with knowing what goes on behind the scenes and stuff. So
yeah,
because like at the end of the day, the number of usually the number of credits in Velo games is a pretty good indicator of how well people expect a rider to go, and then or at least the Velo game, the Velo game guy, at least. And then for the others, we are pretty much telling you who to avoid right now. So if you've been diligent and like and listened up to now, you know all you need to like avoid bad picks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to make a bad team, of course, but I'm going to pick Beanie and I'm going to pick Roglic. I'm going to pick Menchis.
I'm not convinced Roglic is bad because he's done pretty well this season so far. I mean, I don't think he's going to win, but
podium,
depending on
GC
how many
podium.
Yeah, I don't really see anyone other than Roglic podiuming. And that's even assuming Pogačar and Vingegaard are there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be third or second if one of them disappoints.
Yeah, because the final remark is going to be that, like, from me at least, is going to be that we know that Pogačar had like wrist issues last year, and those apparently massively impacted his preparation, even though he tried to be on the bike as soon as possible. So even though Vingegaard is on the bike and training right now, and apparently doing good enough that he can go and do tour, even though Visma have said he's not doing tour unless he's at 100%. I still don't know if that's still enough to do well and like defend the title and get a podium, even though he's Vingegaard and stuff.
I agree with your point, but I will say I don't really buy the Pogačar wrist story. I mean, Pogačar was attacking, he was like doing all sort of crazy stuff.
Yeah, but like
he did really well, but Vingegaard did like deliver the performance that was so superhuman that
Mm-hmm.
no human could have challenged it. So,
Sure, but also that's just how
including
Pogačar rides
Pogačar. So,
usually. So you
yeah,
can you
so
can still
easy.
attack even if you are out of form,
Sure, but
because that's just how you ride.
I don't buy that Pogačar would have won otherwise. Don't really.
Oh, me neither. Me neither. Because like, sure, of course, Vingegaard had
I
just
think
superhuman preparation and stuff. So, and it's a bit unfortunate that apparently Netflix is really pushing into some supposed like dodgy preparation or um, weird drinks or whatever. I don't know any other euphemism for like what they suggest went down with Vingegaard, but like,
I mean, like the last like the or the climbing time trial.
yeah, that one was
That
like
was
crazy.
it's hard to understand how that could possibly have happened. That's just I mean that doesn't mean it didn't happen, but it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I'll just say that and then leave it there. Don't really want to suggest anything else, but yeah, it was
Who
no.
knows?
I mean, Pogacar did like just objectively very well there, and he was completely blown out of the water
Hmm.
by yeah, I don't know.
By the second best
It,
Danish rider at Tour this year, behind of course Magnus Kort.
yes,
Would you pick Kort
no.
as the final point? No. Even though okay, he's not going to be in every breakaway, definitely. But he might win a stage. Who knows?
I want to pick G now. I don't know how many points he's going to.
Okay, and on this note, we
Okay,
can
moving on.
we can move on. Yeah.
So I wanted to make some personal point that I was very annoyed about. So my employer has this like fantasy football thing going on because of the Euros, and you can actually win some money with it. So obviously I just looked at the bookmakers and filled in whatever was predicted. But I missed that the scoring rules of the things that said for forwards, like attackers scoring points, you get fewer points than for midfielders scoring goals.
Mm.
So I picked for forwards basically, and then I found out with midfielders you get a lot more points. So sad.
Yeah. Okay, but still, you can't be sure about. I mean, are there any midfielders who are particularly prolific? I really wouldn't know. I don't know anything about football, so
I mean, sure, there will be.
I mean,
I don't.
isn't like picking midfielders like shooting fish in a barrel basically for like, or like the reverse of that. Sorry, I used the opposite metaphor, but like you
Yeah,
might have
I
a
get
big
what you
pool of
mean.
midfielders, but like, are you going to actually pick the one who scores like, I don't know, 5 goals in the whole Euros? Because I don't know,
But
maybe he takes all of the penalties and
yeah, but I think there's going to be some people who are basically forwards who are qualified as midfielder.
mm, basically every Italy forward 3 years ago was like that probably.
Yeah.
Apparently this time we do have true forwards this time. I don't know what that means, but I don't think we are particularly better off for it. Like as far as odds of winning are, so I I,
So
I will
yeah,
just trust what
but I,
what people tell me.
I don't really know enough to know which. But I'm pretty sure if I looked a bit, there will be midfielders who are likely to score a lot of goals.
Yeah. Were there any in the like game yesterday that Germany won?
Yeah, yeah. That's how I found out. People scored a lot of points with
Oh,
like
I
the
see.
German midfielders. But at least I was sort of happy that the 5 people who scored were all different people, so no one really like got a
Mm-hmm.
massive head start because there's 5 different people scored, which is like typical for Germany, of course, because they always have like Maschine. Not, not so much one ego who scores all the goals, but there was very much a team.
So apparently Spain scored 3 goals today, and they had 1 apiece for defenders, midfielders, and forwards. If they
Oh yeah, and if defenders get even more points.
so if anyone had
So,
Carvajal in your tournament, then they're going to be very happy with that.
I'm not sure about who picked who, but yeah. So Italy is playing in 30 minutes, right?
Or so I'm told. Yeah. I wouldn't
I,
know.
I, I very conservatively estimated 1-0, but seeing how everything else is going, I'm really doubting that at the moment. Especially because Albania,
Yeah, sure, but
they're
like,
they're not going to be good, are they?
who knows? I really can't
So
tell. I mean, maybe they are like the. I mean, I think Italy um was like eliminated from contention to qualify at the World Cup by like North Macedonia. So
yeah,
you know,
okay, great.
I mean, it has already happened that Italy has lost against smaller nation. But maybe North Macedonia is stronger than, because I really
Yeah, well, I
don't
mean, it happened.
recognize any of the names in the Albania
It
team.
ha
So
it's happened to pretty much every uh, country. There have been humiliating defeats, but generally speaking, I don't think Italy is winning by less than 3 goals. I
and
don't
what
know. We'll see.
let's see. I really don't know how Italy has fared recently or how Albania has. So, and what about Netherlands? Because like they play tomorrow. I'm seeing.
Yeah, we don't really have a strong attacking lineup at the moment, but
So did you?
the practice games did go well, so there's some hype building, but I don't think anyone really expects us to like make the semi-finals.
Did you mark another 1-0 down then for Netherlands?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Google
No, but I
tells me
don't
that
think.
Poland are winless in their last 12 meetings with Netherlands in all competitions since 1980. So
Fair enough. Yeah, but Netherlands will make it through the group stages, I'm pretty sure. And then after that, probably not get very far. Probably go out against Portugal as usual. Or I don't know. I don't even know the schedule. I don't know when we would meet Portugal if that's true. That
we
seems
we
to be
only
what
we only
usually
know
happens.
there are going to be plenty of yellow and red cards in that match. That's it.
Yeah. Um, so that was everything I had to say about that. I
That's
just
fair.
wanted to mention it.
That's
I
fine.
was annoyed about it.
Yeah, that was the fantasy sport encore.
Yeah. And I want to say some things about TNT.
Yeah, let's close on TNT because like we had round 2 closing like last night.
So it's I mean, this round we had 2 people who voted past the deadline, which was a bit of a shame, but otherwise turnout has been pretty high, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, round 3 isn't going to be as amazing in terms of quality as last year, but that was like exceptionally good, and it's still going to be yeah, obviously for me the presence of Serge and Baneo and Jermund that really usually helps songs I like as well. Not always, but often. Compared to, say, Jan and Trigard and Jordan, who maybe have like a more
different
different
tastes.
taste.
Mm.
Yeah. But it's also very nice that they are participating, right? So we don't get all the same stuff.
Yeah, and then there is a large component of like luck of the draw, like as far as how the groups are composed and stuff, or like maybe someone is busy and doesn't notice the deadline has gone by or whatever, so they skip a vote. But still is really nice. TMT 20 is usually one of the best things we do in Tolosa.
Yeah, and I really like all the songs like that are that we get to listen to, because every year there's usually a couple of discoveries I like, and in so many groups it's like it's very hard to give this 4-point song because I like most of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and also new discoveries sometimes they are like a little bit unfortunate that they they like you don't usually have much time to appreciate them, and then maybe you get to appreciate them way more when, I don't know, maybe you save them and you get a playlist going, and then yeah, I don't know, three weeks after they've been eliminated, you get, oh, okay, I could have given more points to to this song.
Yeah,
Then yeah, of
exactly.
course they very often get pitted against either each other or like stronger songs from the years before.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
that's
There is.
why I wanted to mention it, because there are so many songs where you don't really get to give a lot of points to them, but you're still happy they're like there, right? And
Yeah.
because yeah, but what you say, like the first time you hear a song, you're never going to like it more than the songs you already like, basically. Um, but you still might find it like interesting, and then later listen to it more.
Oh yeah.
So there's two songs that I've listened to a lot since this edition started. I don't really know the artist anymore, but it was like an XPB nomination. Death of Me, that was like a sort of hip hop ish thing. I really like that one. I'm still listening to that a lot. And the nomination from Germund, the Ambitions, they was actually in this group, and I didn't give any points to it. That was because the group was so ridiculously strong. I've also been listening to that a lot
Yeah,
last
maybe
couple
Team T should like switch to
days,
approval
weeks.
voting. we can discuss voting reform, like, but
Oh,
I think
please no.
instead of
Oh yeah,
politically, we do it in Team T.
Yeah, so I do have an opinion about this, which is Jan is changing the votes for round 3, and I really like the new like semi-final final idea, but I'm a bit worried that the new voting key for round 3 will favor songs that everybody sort of likes over songs that a few people like a lot.
Yeah.
Which to me sounds like it might reduce like the diversity. Not that we have much of that anyway, but diversity in the final.
Sure, that's a fair point. I've definitely been frustrated about some consensus songs, like songs with a lot of I don't know, 2 votes, 1 vote, 3 votes, missing out in favor of songs that got like 2 4-point votes or whatever, or like. But yeah,
So
this.
you disagree with
No,
me actually,
no, no, no,
basically.
no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I see the value of having a more diverse field, even though I don't personally. If things had played out differently, I would have had more songs that I liked. But then this time it was the opposite, because like me and Ellie agreed on a lot of picks. Like we literally voted not even on purpose. We voted the same way on group 10. And
Yeah.
so even in the early rounds we had like I don't remember which song, maybe Battiato or maybe Acida, passing just because of our combined high point votes and no one else voting for them.
Would have been Achida
Yeah,
then.
probably.
because Battiato didn't make
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. It's was probably Achida then, and then yeah, then the 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 foot was in my shoe this time, or my foot was in that shoe, or whatever.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I was struggling to the shoe is in the foot is in the other shoe or whatever, or the shoe is in the other foot.
That sounds somewhat better. Yeah. The shoes in the other foot. That doesn't really.
What I meant was that it felt to me to have like the unpopular song that I really liked and I really wanted to see advance. But yeah, overall, I'm like trying to be way, way more chill about this all uh, this all
Yeah, that's
stuff.
probably a
Like
good
I'm
idea.
barely even checking out how other people vote lately. So I'm happy to be surprised by the fact that songs I like actually get through surprisingly, uh, or not.
Yeah, I do tend to like I don't count the votes when I haven't voted myself yet because then I think, oh, I don't want to
Yeah, me
influence my
neither.
vote.
But like if I
But once I voted, I usually do sort of check like, okay, this one is going to do well or this one is not going to do well
same, that's also
because
what
then
I've been
I
doing.
am sort of
Yeah.
interested.
But then at the end of the day, there are so many songs I at least like, if not love, or if not like top 10, top 5, or whatever, that even if you get eliminations of really nice songs, then the final is usually always going to be some really nice 20 song playlist or whatever it's going to be this year. I admit I'm not 100% familiar with the new final procedures, but
I am not 100% sure either, but I think it's just that like round 4 and 5 will be like a semi-final, like
mhm.
combined 15 songs, and then the final will be just the same as usual. I think that's how it is, but I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, okay. So yeah, at the end, no matter how each vote actually stacks up, like I'm going to be happy with the final breakdown, like the breakdown of the songs in the final. So even if it's the always the old same songs, like it's still a nice playlist usually. And then you get
Yeah.
some new discovery in
So
or whatever, hopefully.
so my problem is I like to compare it basically with last year, and last year was just so good that the final is just not going to be as good
Mhm.
this year, which is something I need to accept
Yeah.
because like all the songs I liked were in there last year basically. No, not all of them, but so many.
Right. Okay. Any final words? Sign up for TCAT, vote in TMT20, vote in the general election.
Yeah, sure.
Tell
Do
us
that.
everything about how boring we've been.
No, don't do that.
I mean, it's constructive feedback.
Okay. Yeah, I have nothing else to add.
Fair enough. Okay, this is all from us then. I hope to get this out as soon as possible. And again, sign up for Ticket. Uh, Sign-ups will probably open in like, I don't know, early the week of the 24th, the 25th, 25th of June.
About 10 days ago.
Yeah, about 10 days ago. Voting TMT20, we are probably voting round 3. Probably. You will
Probably.
for sure be in time for the final, I hope. Vote in the final, even if you haven't nominated songs, even if you haven't participated much in the other rounds, we still appreciate you hanging out with us and appreciating nice music. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for doing this, for organizing it, and for doing the editing.
Of course.
Yeah, I think there were like several things we discussed where I was like just talking to you basically, and now I'm realizing it will go out. I'm not sure about that.
Well, but no one will
But
listen
yeah,
to this, so
we'll see.
Okay, bye everyone.